It is Thursday, day 285. Will today be the day that we spot the Lotus finally? It's been so elusive for almost 300 days now, but maybe the first card of the day is Black Lotus. It's pretty good. This is Skithiryx the Blight Dragon, originally printed in Scars of Mirrodin, and still about $10 for just about any version of this. 5 mana, 3 and double black for a 4/4 legendary dragon skeleton with flying and infect. That means that it deals damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters and to players in the form of poison counters, which is gross. You can also pay a black and have it gain haste till end of turn. You can pay double black and regenerate it, which is nasty. It's a pretty good way of protecting it. I imagine that you need that because most people are going to try to kill this the moment it comes onto the table. You know what I mean? So they're not even going to let it resolve. But if it does, they're going to try to blow it away. So this is really a 7 mana. This is how we look at creatures with regenerate. This is a 7 mana 4/4 flyer, which doesn't seem like the best deal in the world. But Infect 4? You're talking about Infect 4? That's pretty good. So this is a pretty dangerous little guy here. I don't think that he should be $10. I really don't. At the end of the day, he's close to normal while still being a massive threat. He is that. So I'm going to give this a 5.9. Yeah. I'll throw a 5.9 at Skithiryx. He's got a great name. He's got a great vibe. Look at him. He's a cool guy. Infect. I was going to say everybody loves Infect, except for everyone who hates Infect. But he's obviously a powerful guy. And by the way, Dragon Skeleton. Whew, it's a good creature type. But you know, I'm not sure that he shows up in anything besides very dedicated Infect decks, right? And those are pretty rare, to be honest. But I'm still going to give him the 5.9. He's pretty gross. Next is Throat Seeker. That's a name for a card from Modern Horizons. This is 3 mana, 2 and a black for a 3/2 vampire ninja. Cool creature types. Unblocked attacking ninjas you control have lifelink. Oh my god, this guy's only 22 cents? Huh. Well, I guess if they get blocked, they don't have lifelink. That's not great. This is still like a pretty good ability in your ninja deck. And like Yuriko is still a pretty popular commander. I don't think Yuriko's always built like a ninja deck, but she's built like a ninja deck enough that this seems really good. It doesn't have ninjutsu itself, obviously. And 3 mana is like kind of a lot for this effect, but it's still a good effect. Pretty sure this is fine. I'm going to give this a 4.7, a 4.75. I think this is like almost there. Like Tiana from Princess and the Frog. It's almost there. It's almost there, but just not quite. It's not, but I like it. I like his haircut. We're going to move on to Befuddle here. This is from Dominaria. 3 mana, 2 and a blue for an instant. A creature gets -4, -0 till end of turn, and you draw a card. So, Fog a guy for a turn and draw a card at 3 mana. Not great. We discussed this earlier this week, you know, like instant speed cantrips are good, but once you enter the realm of 3 mana, come on, you can do better, man. I promise. Honey, need to let him go, because I promise you can do better. This is just not great. I'm going to give it a 2.9. Draws a card. Oh, Abzan Falconer. I really like this guy. He's from Khans of Tarkir. Played him in a few $5 decks back in Tarkir Standard that were actually like kind of really good. This is back when $5 decks could be great. I say that, but like, you know, the last couple of $5 videos that we've done have had at least one deck that was actually like pretty competitive. So there's always one, but Falconer's cool, man. 3 mana, 2 and a white for a 2/3 human soldier with Outlast for a white. So that means you pay a white mana and you tap this guy to put a +1/+1 counter on him at sorcery speed. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has flying. So if you pay an extra mana for this guy, like the second turn he's in play, he's a 3/4 flyer. Okay. But this line of text is even better than the ninja that we just looked at. You know what I mean? Like giving all your ninjas a form of lifelink effectively is pretty sick. And when you ninjutsu the ninjas into play, they have lifelink. I should have pointed that out. That's really the function of the card. But still. Falconer is even better. You know, he doesn't care about like a creature type or anything, just creatures with +1/+1 counters, which is really cool. Matter of fact, as I record this, Edge of Eternities is coming out. There's a kind of green-white counters theme in that set. It's like every few sets, you see specifically green-white counters. It's always anchored to green, the +1/+1 counter themes, but sometimes it's green-black. Sometimes it's green-white. Sometimes it's Simic, you know. But the more those dice, those dice get rolled, and the counter themes come up green-white, I think the better Abzan Falconer gets, for the most part. And it is just a solid card. I think this is a solid Commander card that's been reprinted at a bunch of Commander products because it's pretty good. I'm going to give this card a 6. I'm serious, man. This is very good. You know, in a lot of green-white counters decks, literally every creature you control has a counter on it. So this just says creatures you control have flying for 3 mana. That's a good deal. It just is. So I like it. We'll move on. 6 is too much even for that, though. Let's go 5.8 on Falconer. Let's revise the score. 5.8. 5.8. I do think all your guys have flying is great, though. This is Memory Lapse, currently banned in Historic. I played during 7th edition and do not remember this art. I don't remember this art at all. This is the art that everyone remembers. This one right here. Although I think this might be the better art. This one. This is originally printed in Homelands, so do not say that every single card in Homelands is bad, because Homelands has Memory Lapse. 2 mana, 1 and a blue for an interrupt. It's actually an instant nowadays. Counter target spell. If that spell was countered this way, put it on top of its owner's library instead of into that player's graveyard. So if you don't think this is very good, this is in 2 separate Pro Tour decks. from that age. It was reprinted in Mirage, and really cool art in Mirage, by the way. Rebecca Gay always kills it, obviously. Reprinted in 5th edition, and then after it was reprinted in 5th, another World Championship appearance. Judge gift card in 1999. That costs $40 to $35 to buy right now. Reprinted again in 7th edition, like we said, and then was in another World Championship deck. It's like every time the card got reprinted, it was in a World Champions deck. So if you think the card looks bad, I regret to inform you that you are incorrect. This card is very, very good. It turns out that a lot of games of especially 1v1 come down to a turn or two, right? It's a game of turns. As one of the best Magic players I ever knew once told me, Magic is a game of turns. They're absolutely right. And even in Commander, Magic is a game of turns. And very often, you can blank their one big spell at the end of a turn, and that will blank most of the work they've done for that turn. And even if they do draw the card again next turn, well, they've already spent all their setup. You know what I mean? Like the load is gone at that point. So they can no longer do the thing they wanted to do in the first place. This is still true in Commander. Backing a spell up by a whole turn most of the time is great. And, by the way, this also replaces their draw step, effectively. You know, if they were hoping to draw more gas on the next turn, well, they're not going to draw the removal spell. They're not going to draw the card draw spell. They're not going to draw the creature. They're going to draw the thing that would have been great last turn, but it's just no longer what it once was now that we're a turn deeper into the game, because that matters so much, especially at a Commander table. Imagine all the things that have happened since the last time you took your turn. Is that card still as good, especially now that everyone at the table knows it's coming? No. So this has always been a great card. There are other effects like it. You know, we've got Remand. There's a white version of Remand, but I would say despite the fact that Remand draws you the card, this is still better than Remand. I would rather put it on top of their library a lot of the time than put it back in their hand, but Remand is still crazy. I'm going to give Memory Lapse a solid 6.8, and it might even be more than that. Is this one of the best counter spells ever printed in the history of Magic? You know, Force of Will, counter spell, obviously. Pact of Negation is fine. Arcane Denial is really, 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 really good, and that draws them cards, but it draws you cards too, right? And there's probably a number of other, better counters. Mana Drain, obviously. Let's get Mana Drain. Let's get that one out of the way. And Mana Leak. Mana Leak is fantastic, but is it as good as Memory Lapse? I'm not sure. Either way, Memory Lapse is in the conversation for best of all time. So I should probably bump this up to a 7, just to have a little bit more respect for it. You know, just to respect Memory Lapse, because you should. you absolutely should. Well, let's move on to Ib Halfheart, Goblin Tactician. This is a fun guy. This is originally printed in Time Spiral. One of my absolute favorite sets, for real. 4 mana, 3 and a red for a 3/2 legendary Gobbo Advisor. Whenever another goblin you control becomes blocked, sacrifice it. If you do, it deals 4 damage to each creature blocking it. You can also sack 2 mountains to put 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens into play, which is the cool part of the card. That's the fun part of the card, is just like sack 2 mountains, sack 2 mountains, sack 2 mountains. I'm out of mountains, but I got a bunch of goblins, baby. So that's always a lot of fun. But you have ways usually of recycling your mountains in these decks, not just Crucible of Worlds, but other ways as well. So this has always been a fun one. Like whether it's your commander or it's in the 99 of a goblins deck, which I think always should be. I really do think this like should always be in the 99 of goblins. It's a fantastic card. So I'm gonna give Ib like a 6.6. I'm gonna give Ib a 6.6. I'm so serious. This card's good. Card always been good. It's a little expensive, I guess, by modern standards, but when you consider that it puts a 3/2 and like a million 1/1s into play, like that's 4 mana ain't so bad. It really isn't. But next is Zakama Primal Calamity. This is from Rivals of Ixalan originally, and it still costs about $1, depending on where you're getting it from. Zakama is 9 mana, 6, a red, a green, and a white for a 9/9 legendary Elder Dinosaur with Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. It better have some keywords for that much mana. When it ETBs, if you cast it, untap all lands you control. If you pay 2 and a red, it deals 3 damage to a creature. If you pay 2 and a green, you destroy an artifact or enchantment. Pay 2 and a white, you gain 3 life. So I guess this just goes in that Naya Dinosaurs deck. There's like 2 or 3 Naya Dinosaurs decks, you know. And this probably goes in at least 2 out of 3 of them, right? This is a Judge gift card in 2021, and it's $25 to get that version of it. Huh, interesting. But yeah, still, good card altogether, even though it's so much mana. It's a ridiculous amount of mana. And to really get the full value, you have to cast it. But if you do cast it, screw it, untap all your lands, do like 3 things immediately with the activated abilities. Crazy mana sink. If you want a mana sink, you've definitely got one. I'm going to give Zakama a 5 point. Am I going to do that? Am I going to give this creature a 5 something? It's so much mana. It's so much mana, dude. I'm going to give this a 5.8 is what I'm going to do. I think that once it's on the table, it is a house that cannot be blown down, but you got to get it there in the first place. Next is Academy Manufacturer. Oh my God, this guy is incredible. It's like I really think this guy is like one of the best guys. This is originally from Modern Horizons 2. There he is. 3 mana for a 1/3 artifact assembly worker. If you would create a clue, food, or treasure token, instead create 1 of each. All right, so there's already in print, before the Sonic Secret Lair comes out, there's already a guy that's like, if you control 30 artifacts or 40 artifacts or it's 20. If you control 20 artifacts or more, you win the game. That guy already exists. When the Sonic Secret Lair comes out, Knuckles will exist, as much as that's weird. The Knuckles guy is a 4 mana creature that says, if you control 30 or more artifacts, you win the game. So this dude is amazing in those decks, pretty obviously, especially with all the red things that create treasure tokens specifically. But, depending on what colors you're playing, there's ways to create clues and foods. And this is just the kind of thing to where if you're playing like a deck where artifacts matter and you've got like Machinist Arsenal, which counts the number of artifacts you have in play, or any blue-white artifact deck, like an Urza deck or something that, again, cares. An Esper artifacts deck, there's plenty of those. Alayla, is that the right? Yeah, Alayla and the other Urza that's Esper. All these are artifact decks, and this guy's really, really good in those decks because they tend to include cards that care about the number of artifacts you have, and also cards that create, one or another of these tokens. And this dude's really, really cheap to get on the table. If he procs even like once or twice, you go crazy. Like these tokens aren't individually great, except for treasures, for the most part. But, a food deck could leverage this to get more foods because it's also incidentally creating treasures. A treasure deck could leverage this to get more treasures because it's incidentally creating foods or clues. So a lot of different things this thing goes in. And there's a reason it's like $3 right now, but even that I think is kind of a steal for a card that works so well in so many Artifact Matters decks. So I am going to give Academy Manufacturer a 7.6, and you cannot stop me. I'm serious, too. I'm serious. I think this card deserves a lot of respect. And it's getting some, obviously. It goes in a lot of artifact decks, but I think it is really, really good. Like, fantastic. So, at least 7.6. I'm serious. Next is Plains. A good-looking Plains, but they don't count. We got Roquaryy Tower up next, and that does count. I do not think that we have ever landed on Roquaryy Tower. This costs $2 from Doctor Who and more from just about everywhere else. Some secret lair drops, kind of neat. It's Commander 2021 is $2. When were you printed? When were you actually printed? Conflux. That makes sense. It's about $2 from Conflux. Yeah, just buy it from that set. Whatever. Anyway, this is a land that taps for a colorless, does not come into play tapped, and you have no maximum hand size. Crazy. I'm going to ask the audience on this one. I've only done it one other time this week, and I think I need to do it here. What do you give Roquaryy Tower? What do you think? What do you think? Since I assume that 12 seconds is enough to have rated the card, and we're already pretty deep into the video. I got to do one more card, and we're already 16 minutes in. I'm going to give Roquaryy Tower a 9. And we were rating for Casual Commander, but even outside of Casual Commander, the card's great. It's great in CDH for that matter. Most Commander decks, I think, at this point, I don't know if it's most Commander decks, but if most means the majority, I would wager that 51% of Commander decks have this card in them. I think they might. I don't leave home without it. It's in basically all my decks if I build Commander. So, yeah, 9. I'm serious. Maybe some people might argue me down to like an 8.5, but no, I think it's a 9. I really do. Roquaryy Tower is crazy. We'll move on to Path of Bravery, the final card of the day. Originally printed Magic 2014 and not too many other times. This is 3 mana, 2 and a white for a rare enchantment. As long as your life total is greater than or equal to your starting life total, creatures you control get +1/+1. All right. Whenever one or more creatures you control attack, you gain life equal to the number of attacking creatures. Okay, so I have to look at this for Hope S time. The way that I've built Hope right now, there's a lot of prison effects. There's a lot of sweeper effects. There's a lot of ways to protect Hope and keep him on the battlefield, even through our own sweepers. There are sweepers that say, like, destroy all creatures except commanders, so we can keep Hope on the battlefield. I've mostly got that deck as like a almost Pillow Forty, like Turbo Foggy kind of thing, to where we're not taking too much damage in combat if we can possibly help it. We just don't play that many creatures. I'll acknowledge the other way to build Hope is to play all of the Soul Wardens and Lumark Veterans and Impassioned Orators and Life Creed Duos and Hinterland Sanctifiers and just all the creatures that gain life when other creatures come into play, and of course your Pridemate effects and your Aerith Gainsboroughs and your creatures like that. Maybe your Lindens that gain a bunch of life when creatures attack as well, right? So I think that there's an argument for a creature-based Hope deck, and if there is, this could probably go into it, but I want to like it. But I don't know how much I actually do. I'm going to give this, I'm going to give it a 5. I'm going to give Path a 5. I think it's an interesting enough Magic card. I do. I think that it's fun nowadays to see all these like mill and life gain effects together. But I like the traditional, like, okay, so if you gain life, you get more aggressive. Like, that's a good way to pay off life gain too. So that's a fun card. But that is it for today. We got one more date this week, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you then tomorrow. Bye.